From WTOK-TV, this is News Center 11.
A woman is stabbed to death while trying to help a panhandler, and George H.W. Bush lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda, and people are still flying in to pay their respects.
Good Morning Meridian at daybreak starts now.
Good morning, it's Tuesday the 4th of December. I'm Kate Gibson.
And I'm Andrew Samet.
We've got plenty to get through this morning, but first of all, let's take a look at our forecast. And Andrew, it's been so cold this morning. I'm not really impressed because I thought Mississippi was meant to be warm all year round, and it feels like I'm back home again.
That's right. It seemed that way this past weekend. We made it to 81 on Saturday, but a lot cooler now. We're temperatures dropping to the lower 50s for us. Warm up to 60 for your day on Friday. The best chance of rain over the next 7 days is Saturday, and it will be a washout. So, Kate, if you have any outdoor activities planned, make sure you are bringing them indoors. And now here's your fish and game forecast, sponsored by the Vein Clinic at Meridian Plastic Surgery. Your peak times for wildlife activity is at 11:40 a.m. and 12 o'clock a.m.
Okay, well, it's definitely Christmas time now, eh? Yes. Thanks, Andrew. Now to Washington, where the nation's capital is embracing the 41st President, George H.W. Bush, lying in the state in the Capitol Rotunda, where people are still filing in to pay their respects. Late Monday, President Trump and the First Lady visiting Bush's casket as well. ABC's Emily Rao has more from the Capitol.
With a sunset befitting the colorful life he lived, the body of former President George H.W. Bush arrived at the U.S. Capitol. Members of his cabinet waiting.
A 54-year-old woman stabbed to death trying to give a panhandler money. This all happened in Baltimore, Maryland, and the locals are just in shock.
I was shocked when I saw it.
Odella Taylor, an East Baltimore resident, is talking about the Metro Crime Stoppers flyer showing Jacqueline Smith's face.
When I saw the flyer.
Surveillance video released Monday shows a small plane crashed into an autism therapy center in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
The best spouse, the best father for my son, and for his first son, the best father.
Belkis Marquez.
There was a deadly bus accident last night with a youth football team on board. The team driving from Dallas to Memphis and the bus flipping.
Smith, who was in the front seat, rolled down the window to give the woman money, and when she did, an unknown man reached inside to grab her wallet, and police say there was a struggle. Investigators tell WMAR.
Coming up, Jean's restaurant has reopened under new ownership and in the form of a food truck. Find out more, but first, here's a look at this morning's ABC Tech Bites.
From WTOK-TV, this is News Center 11.
A woman is stabbed to death while trying to help a panhandler, and George H.W. Bush lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda, and people are still flying in to pay their respects.
Good Morning Meridian at daybreak starts now.
Good morning, it's Tuesday the 4th of December. I'm Kate Gibson.
And I'm Andrew Samet.
We've got plenty to get through this morning on Good Morning Meridian at daybreak, but first of all, let's take a look at your forecast.
That's right. It's a cold start for us. A far cry from where we were this past weekend, where high temperatures were in the 80s and 70s. But as we take a look at the week ahead, 60 degrees by your day on Friday. The best chance of rain is for your day on Saturday. So, Kate, if you have any outdoor activities planned, it's going to be a washout, so you might want to consider bringing them indoors. But first, here's your fishing game forecast, sponsored by the Vein Clinic at Meridian Plastic Surgery. Your peak times for wildlife activity is at 11:40 a.m. and 12 o'clock a.m.
Right, well, looks like I'm staying in for a movie day on Saturday then. Thanks,
good.
Andrew. Now to Washington, where the nation's capital is embracing the 41st President, George H.W. Bush, lying in state in the Capitol Rotunda, where people are still filing in to pay their respects. Late Monday, President Trump and the First Lady visiting Bush's casket as well. ABC's Emily Rao has more from the Capitol.
With a sunset befitting the colorful life he lived, the body of former President George H.W. Bush.
A 54-year-old woman stabbed to death trying to give a panhandler money. This all happened in Baltimore, Maryland, and the locals are just in shock.
I was shocked when I saw it.
Odella Taylor, an East Baltimore resident, is talking about the Metro Crime Stoppers flyer.
Surveillance video released Monday shows a small plane crashed into an autism therapy center in Fort Lauderdale.
The best spouse, the best father for my son, and for his first son, the best father.
There was a deadly bus accident last night with a youth football team on board. The team driving from Dallas to Memphis and the bus flipping.
Tonight, investigators are trying to piece together why the driver lost control of this bus, killing one child and injuring 45 people.
We're still working on it.
Coming up, Jean's restaurant has reopened under new ownership and in the form of a food truck. Find out more. But first, here's a look at this morning's ABC Tech Bites.
From WTOK-TV, this is News Center 11.
Local law enforcement has tips on how to stay safe over the holidays after an elderly woman was attacked in her home. And a popular Queen City restaurant back open for business with the same name, but a temporary location. How the owner says they'll preserve its history.
Good Morning Meridian starts now.
Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 4th of December. I'm Kate Gibson.
And I'm Andrew Samet.
Thanks for joining us this morning on Good Morning Meridian. We've got plenty to get through, but let's start off with a look at our forecast, Andrew.
All right, so it's a cold start for us across the area. Temperatures sitting in the 30s this morning. And as we take a look at your 7-day forecast, a bit of a cool start to the work week, but we'll finish off with some rain on Saturday. And Saturday is going to be quite a bit of a washout, so Kate, if you have any outdoor activities planned, you might want to consider moving them indoors.
That or take a rain jacket, I'm guessing.
All right.
For the tougher of the people in our area.
Yes, definitely.
Right, well, our top story this morning, Jean's restaurant has reopened under new ownership and in the form of a food truck in a temporary location. Jean's Eatery has been open since last Tuesday on Front Street. Those in charge are the building owners of the original Jean's restaurant. As you may recall, that restaurant was served eviction papers due to health concerns. Business owner David Purvis says he's renovating that building, but will also serve customers under the name Jean's.
Jean's owned it for a long, long time. It's such an icon, and I have really thought and prayed real hard on it and decided that Miss Jean really needed to be pressed forward and continue in downtown Meridian.
News Centre 11 spoke with the former Jean's restaurant manager yesterday. He says he doesn't want to comment on the issue at this time. The Jasper County Sheriff's Department is on the hunt for someone who assaulted a 62-year-old woman. Sheriff Randy Johnson says Edith Blackledge was found early Friday morning unresponsive in her home on Highway 18 near the Antioch community. She was taken to hospital where she was still unresponsive. The sheriff believes this is an aggravated assault case. The family of the victim now offering a $5,000 reward for anyone who can give information leading to an arrest. Local law enforcement here in the Queen City want to encourage not only elderly residents but everyone to pay attention to their surroundings.
You get ready to return home, you notice a car, sitting out in front of your house, a neighbor's house, somebody sitting in it. You don't know them, you don't recognize the car. By the time you get out of your car, start getting bags or purses or coats or whatever you're doing at your car, you look up and all of a sudden there's somebody standing there.
Calhoun says most thieves don't plan their crimes in advance. When they see an opportunity, they take it. A popular national restaurant chain has opened a new location inside Rush Hospital. Nuke's Eatery has opened a Nuke's on the Go inside the Rush Hospital gift shop. The Nuke's to Go location gives hospital visitors and staff another dining option. The to-go menu features salads, soups, sandwiches, even cake. Negotiations between Rush and Nuke started back in October.
We're looking for something different that we wanted to be able to do for our employees. And so Nuke's came to mind, and Nuke's is such a popular restaurant. And so we contacted Debbie Marr and Todd, and they came in and we visited about it. We put a plan together of action, and it happened in about 6 weeks.
The Nuke's to Go location is part of a major gift shop renovation project. Headlines in Alabama now. Hoover police say they won't release video of the Galleria Mall shooting until a state investigation is complete, as the victim's family released a private autopsy yesterday. E.J. Bradford Jr. was shot and killed by police at the mall on Thanksgiving as officers responded to a separate shooting there. Family attorney Ben Crump says one gunshot entered the back of his skull. The report says Bradford was also shot in the neck and back. Hoover police repeated Monday that state investigators are concerned the investigation would be jeopardized if the information is released. An inmate has been stabbed to death at a state prison and another was critically injured. The state prison system says 29-year-old Vaquero Armstrong was fatally stabbed yesterday night at William C. Holman Correctional Facility in Atmore. The Department of Corrections says Armstrong was found in a housing area with multiple stab wounds. He was taken to the prison infirmary but died from his injuries. The DOC says another inmate was hurt in a second fight. No matter if you enjoy a cold refreshment or not, an Alabama brewery is giving those who do a reason to start. The Back 40 Beer Company is making a beer to help people 3,000 miles away.
These might be some of the most helpful hops known to man. And here's why. Because every drop of every pint that comes out of this tank will come in some form of relief to those affected by the campfire in California.
Well, the brewing community is very collaborative and very supportive.
So when the founder...
The Browns estimate the beer will be completely ready to drink by the last week of December. Coming up, another addition to our CrimeNet series, but first it's time to look into our forecast with Andrew.
All right, we'll see how high temperatures climb only to 53 degrees, but rain chances hold off until your day on Saturday. More about that coming up in your full forecast. But first, let's see what's cooking with Mr. Food's Kitchen.
Philadelphia residents braved the cold for a holiday kickoff. The annual Christmas parade made its way through town earlier. This included 115 entries, marching bands, and of course, Santa Claus. Chamber and Executive Director Tim Moore says holiday events like the parade are great for the community and it also boosts the economy.
Christmas parades, you know, yes, you've been having Christmas shopping going on since November, but usually a Christmas parade is usually one of those stamps that says, okay, December's here, it's Christmas time.
Moore says he encouraged parade goers stopped by any of the local restaurants that stayed open for the occasion. Awards were handed out to certain floats based off judges' choice. It's now time in our show when you can help law enforcement catch a wanted suspect. With that, here's Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun with this morning's CrimeNet.
I'm Chief Deputy Ward Calhoun with the Lauderdale County Sheriff's Department, bringing you another edition of CrimeNet. Today, we're asking for the community's help to locate.
Many toys were delivered to the United Way of East Mississippi yesterday morning, all thanks to the community's help during this year's Toy-thon. Now that the toys are out of the trucks, they'll be organised and ready to send out to Hope Village for Children, the Salvation Army, the Wesley House, Cans for Kids and Care Lodge this week. Officials with the United Way say that Toy-thon shows just how generous our community is.
A big thank you to WTOK and to all the generous people. We have a wonderful giving community, and when we have events like this, it shows, and United Way of East Mississippi is very proud to be a part of this community and give back.
Last year's Toy-thon raised more than $35,000 in toys and bikes.
So Kate, did you enjoy the 70s and 80s this past weekend?
I did. Do you know what? I went on a really nice bike ride around where I live, and I just pretended that it was July all over again. Although maybe not July in Mississippi, because that's pretty sticky. So it was perfect.
That's right.
What did you get up to?
Well, I enjoyed the outdoors. Went to Bonita Lakes, walked around the track several times, and just really enjoyed the weather. Unfortunately, didn't last very long.
No, I was so cold when I got up this morning. I had to remember to take my coat. I even considered gloves, I'm not going to lie.
You said it was similar to weather in England.
Yes, it was just like being at home, and if I ever complain that I'm homesick, then just send this cold weather again, because, you know, it makes me feel right at home. So at least I didn't have to de-ice my windscreen though, my windshield. I had to do that recently, and I was, this is not what I signed up to when I moved to Mississippi, so hopefully it warms up a bit.
It's okay, you're from England. What brings you to Mississippi?
Do you know, that's one of the first things people ask when they hear my accent and they say, where are you from? And I say, I'm from England. They say, why are you here? I'm here because my lovely husband brought me here. He's training at NAS Meridian, training to be a pilot. So I'm really lucky that I've got to move here and meet all the wonderful people in Meridian and, you know, East Mississippi and West Alabama. They've been very welcoming to me, so it's great.
Is this as you expected?